Well, Richie, after back-to-back wins, I guess there's a good feeling around the place at the minute.
A good feeling. We also know that it's still not good enough for the time being in terms of the standards we've set. If I'm being honest, I thought I was more pleased with the performance after the Wigan game, really. Yeah, the results are great, and sometimes if you're going to be successful, I say this all the time, you have to win when you're not playing so well. But in terms of opportunities created against us in the last couple of games, not so happy. In terms of chances created, reasonably pleased, to be fair. So sometimes the bit of luck that we haven't had evens itself out, and it's certainly done that over the last couple of weeks. But winning's a habit and losing's a habit, and hopefully we're in a good habit.
What have you seen in the last couple of games that you picked up 3 points that's given you plenty of encouragement moving forward?
I think in terms of the creativity at the top of the pitch, in terms of more chances, I think to go to Peterborough, I think we'll be in the top 6 come the end of the season, and whatever it was, 15 shots, 6 or 7 on target or something, being a little bit more clinical. I thought we could have had a couple more, if I'm being brutally honest at times. The game could have quite easily finished 6-5, I think, which would have been entertaining, I'm sure. But no, a little bit more positivity in terms of the final third, the creativity, and also just in terms of a couple of things that we've tried to work on in training, the players taking that information on board.
I assume you've watched the game back in the analysis. What pleased you watching it back now that you may not have seen at the time?
I think the second half performance, bizarrely, which people might find difficult when you've scored 4 goals in 12 minutes or whatever it was. But we changed a few things about out of possession at half time, and I thought that we limited them to better or to less opportunities. I know, obviously they threw everything at us for the last 5-10 minutes and ended up scoring a goal, but I thought we limited them to less final third entries in terms of us defending. They took the information on board pretty well, and a couple of things in terms of the system that we tried to change in and out of possession. So it was the second half really that pleased me more than the first half.
So you've had another full week on the training ground. How much importance do you place on those when you had the start of the season, it was so frantic, whereas now it feels like you've got a bit more time to work with the squad?
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, when you Saturday, Tuesday every week, it's very difficult to improve the players or improve the units. All you're doing is talking about the next opposition and what happened in the last game and what can we slightly, improve on in them small few minutes that we get on the training ground. So in terms of actually trying to improve the players and improve the units, that's the bit really that you get better opportunities at. You do find yourself, if you play, so for example, 3 Tuesdays in a row, all you literally talk about is tactics, and that's frustrating from somebody who wants to try and make the players better, because you can't really. And it's also frustrating probably for a few of the lads who aren't getting as many minutes as they were hoping for, because how would you work on them, how would you make them better, because all they're doing is they're preparing for games as well. So it's nice to actually spend a few days with the players and try and obviously improve them in all different aspects of the game, and improve their understanding of what we want from them.
Do you look forward to these weeks then?
I do actually, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're far better when you've won on the Saturday. When you've won on the Saturday and you get to enjoy the week and you get to work with the players, that's great. Obviously, if you lose on the Saturday, what you want is a game pretty quickly and you try and put the things right. So, but certainly it's been nice to enjoy the two wins by having a clear week and spending some time working on the players.
How the new lads settled in?
Really good, really nice lads. Because obviously it was sort of not rushed towards the end. There were 2 players that we'd had as eye on for a while, but hadn't really had a great deal of actual contact as them as people, because obviously that's difficult when they play for a different club. So, but in terms of lads, great lads, at a real good age in terms of crossroads in their careers. And desperate to come in and do well. I was speaking to Tyrese Forner this morning, just saying, look, you enjoying it? He said, look, everyone's been great, real smile on his face, dead enthusiastic. So yeah, and it's been good with them, because in fairness, if we'd have been playing Saturday, Tuesday, it'd been very difficult to try and know more about them, because you're like, this is what's going to happen tomorrow, this is what's going to happen on Saturday, this is what happened the other day, and it's like, sorry mate, we can't work on you. So it's been good to see how they get on and how they fit in, really.
So Bolton this weekend, what sort of test are you expecting up there?
Well, I would say another team that would, I'm imagining going to be in and around the top 6 minimum. I went and watched them on Tuesday night, and for the first half gave Middlesbrough a really tough time. They're obviously a championship team. They are back to where they were a year ago in terms of, you look at the stats, obviously a very aggressive pressing team. All can handle the ball really well, all at a good age where they're mobile and athletic, very organised, try and play. And I would imagine that going to their stadium, where I would expect, you know, a good atmosphere, a good crowd, a nice pitch, nice big pitch, a really good entertaining game where we are going to have to be at our best in all aspects of the game to get something out of it, because arguably got one of the best number 9s in the division. And in terms of winning the ball back high up the pitch, we know that they are, like I say, athletic and aggressive in their press. So it's going to be probably as tough as it's going to get this season. And we obviously had a tough game against them away last year over Christmas. And then we managed to change a few things and beat them at our place. So, but yeah, I would expect them to be right up there.
How much encouragement do you take from the fact that you mentioned that you think Peter will be up there this year, that you've gone to their home ground and picked up 3 points? Because we know, certainly from the outside, the talk of the away form last year was something that was a bit of noise around it. Is it nice that you've picked up 2 great results so far this season, maybe answered a few questions that were asked?
Yeah, well, like without speaking out of turn, we came in last year and we hadn't scored a goal away from home in 5 games or something away from home. And that was, you know, that's not critical of anybody, that is just the fact that's how it was. And so one of the things we had to try and change was that mindset of being able to go away from home and win games and create chances in different ways. And to score 7 goals in 2 away games, one's a local derby and one's a team who are probably going to be in the top 6. And actually in both of them, really, you know, we could have conceded more, but I think in both of them we could have quite easily scored more. So yeah, really positive that we're changing that mindset of what is expected away from home, and being able to grind out results and make things difficult away from home. And we appreciate the fact that the home form is important as well. But certainly you've got to pick up points away from home if you want to be successful. And
you haven't got a game for 2 weeks after this, so important to go into that international break on a positive note, if you can.
Yeah. If you're signing off for 2 weeks, it doesn't half set the mindset, obviously, and the positivity around the place if you can sign off with firstly a good performance, secondly a win, which we'll obviously be trying to do. And we will be reiterating that, look, you know, you've got to leave everything out there because you don't play for 2 weeks, so it doesn't really make any difference about fatigue or whatever it is. We've got to ensure that everything is given. There's nothing that we have to take anybody off and rest them and get them ready for next week or play on Tuesday or whatever it is. It's, you know, it's literally all guns are blazing for 90 minutes. And if you can't train for 10 days, you can't train for 10 days. Don't worry about it. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So, but it's a really good game, another test. And obviously, if we can pick up something away from home against another top 6 team, then it's a good barometer of where we are.